Hi, Aries. So this is Raina, and I'm going to be doing a special manifestation reading for April for you. And I'm going to be using a new deck of oracle cards that I received very recently, as in a couple of hours ago. And it's called Beyond Lemuria. And I'm just going to lay out the cards. This is a manifestation reading. And I'm just going to lay out the cards and I'll explain in a minute. I've already shuffled a little bit. I'm trying to even, because these are new, they're hard to pick up. So I will, I'll talk. It's only a 3-card spread, okay? Well, I wanted to pick this one, so it's so difficult. I don't want to pick 2 cards at once. Okay, I gotta hold it. Oh my goodness. Once you start handling cards, then, even if they get a little bit bent, it's just like it makes it easier to pick up and stuff like that. So then the 3rd card. All right. Oh my goodness gracious. It's funny because I picked this one when I was just kind of testing it out myself. Okay. So there we go. I'm going to show you the back of the cards. Very beautiful design. Okay. So the first card is, or the first position is what you can do to accelerate what you wish to manifest. And before I go any further, I just wanted to define manifestation. Basically, we have desires and we want certain things. But all of those things are not material things. And I think that's where it gets a little bit tricky, because people will say, oh, I want a house, or I want a car, or a new car. When The Secret came out, there were some people in the New Age community that were appalled that in the movie The Secret, that they were talking about a new car or something like that. And they were saying that's not the highest manifestation. But it could be, sometimes we do want something material. So it shouldn't exclude material things either. But the point is that you may want a certain type of relationship. You may want a partner, or you may want solitude, that you don't have a partner. You may want children, but you also, some people may want to retire or do something. There are things that are not like physical objects, but are states of being. Maybe you want peace of mind, and you've spent your whole life worrying. So let's expand the concept beyond physical things. Okay, that was basically what I wanted to say. So the first position is, basically what can you do to accelerate the process to have this thing manifest. And the card was a journey to wholeness. And this is really about integration. So the fragmentation, maybe that's why that card had all those tendrils or tentacles. Those parts of yourself that are still in shadow can be something that keeps you from feeling that sense of even knowing what you truly want, because you may feel like you know who you are, but you really have parts of yourself that are unacknowledged. But even beyond that, I mean, in a more immediate sense, this is a card about self-love, about accepting yourself right now. You can do both. You can acknowledge that you have aspects of yourself that you are rejecting, and at the same time, love yourself as a work in progress. The second card is what you can let go of to create space for this manifestation that you are wanting. So I want you to take a minute or a moment to think about something that you have been wanting. And it can be, as I stated, a material object, or it could be a person in your life, and it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. You may want a better relationship with your children. That could be one of the things. Maybe you have adult children and you feel like there still is this kind of a space between you for some reason. Whatever it is, think about what, one of the biggest goals that you have in this area. And then this is the card that I got. Water. Number 12, the overflow. So overflow is all about the idea of abundance, the idea of non-attachment. It's probably what in law of attraction they call the art of allowing. So it means that you allow those things that you have to offer others. You channel those things and you bring those out, and they will, reproduce in kind. It's the absence of lack consciousness. So if there's any lack consciousness in you, you need to let it go. Aries is a sign that tends to be very generous, and I think of generous people, and I'm talking about specifically financially generous, and I think about people who are financially generous as people who really put into action this idea of the flow of abundance, that they're constantly giving, and then they are probably constantly receiving because of that. But there's no tit for tat. There's not the sense that people like, I'm going to single out especially Aries and Leo people, that people like you are looking at somebody giving you something for you giving them something. Truly generous people don't think like that. I'm sure we have all experienced a time when we have been given something and there's a very clear understanding that the other person has expectations about that, about us giving them something. And so this is about the flow. And it's actually overflow, which means that there's just absolutely no scarcity in the person's consciousness. You may have to clear something from your life to, manifest something else. Maybe you have unfinished business, Aries, that you need to clear out. So if you're looking for love in your life, but you're still seeing an X on and off again, that would be an example of what I'm talking about, where you kind of are gumming up the works, so to speak. And the final card is, what is the theme to be aware of for the most aligned opportunities? Oh, this is perfect for Aries. It says luminescence. And I will explain what that means. So this card is about self-love. And if any of you have some kind of shield up or armor, like heavy armor because you've been hurt, and this can also apply, by the way, to creative gifts. If you have been shamed for or criticized for a creation that you have shared with others, and that made you kind of pull back and not want to do it at all, these kinds of things have to be healed so that you can feel confident in continuing to share, because that's what it's all about. I can't stress it enough. It doesn't have to be just like a painting or a song that you've written. When I talk about creating, when I created my business, I was coming from a place of never wanting to have a business. I mean, that was something I didn't understand why people would want a business. Now I can't understand why I didn't understand that. But at the time, I didn't understand it because it was so not in my reality. And one of the things that I have noticed is that even being middle-aged, I still had those perfectionistic traits. And that was keeping me back, holding me back. And I see that with other people too. They think, oh, I didn't, even some people that I have followed. And a person may say, oh, my videos aren't a good enough quality, so they don't post as often. And these kinds of things can be quite crippling when you have a perfectionistic streak. When you start to doubt yourself. You have to be an open channel as a creator, whether you're a content creator on YouTube or whether you are creating a business, whether you're creating a service. Well, that's a business, I guess, but painting a painting. There are always going to be people that think you should do it differently. And this is one of the reasons why sometimes I'll get comments on my channel and I react pretty emotionally. Some people might say defensively, because somebody will say, you should do this and you should, and no one can tell another person how they should express themselves. That person may have some great ideas and they may be right. The general consensus of anybody who reads somebody's tips might be right, but they're not necessarily right for that person, because if they were, the person would be expressing that. I mean, it's different if you say, hey, you misspelled a word, or, something like that, or, your volume is too low. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when they tell you how to do something. And so I really champion people being true to themselves. And Aries people don't really have to be lectured about that, because you tend to be that way yourself. But if you have been finding that it's hard to manifest what you want, maybe you have begun to become your own inner critic, and it has kept you from that pure flowing creation. Because what I get a vibe from this reading is flow. And it might be because Aries is a cardinal sign that you are trying too hard to impose upon your life right now your will, not thy will. Okay, that's what I have for you, Aries. Happy birthday to you guys, the ones that are born in April, and belated birthday to those of you who were born last month. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care.